Hello and welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do something a little different today. We've used our vans now, this is on our second van now, a fair amount of times, and we find that we don't utilise the oven or anything in it really. We don't cook in it, and it gets a bit expensive when you keep getting takeaways or getting loads of things for barbecues and that. So I thought I'd do a little series starting up on the channel, just maybe one every couple of weeks, of doing some cooking in the van, just to show that it isn't as hard as it might seem or daunting, and you might not have much space, but you've got enough space to make something pretty decent. So I'm going to start that today. So if you do like what we're doing and you like the video, do leave us a like please, and comment and subscribe if you can please, because it's free and it helps the channel. We're trying to grow it, trying all different things to see what works, this being one of the new things we're trying. And so today I'm gonna make a macaroni cheese, so let's get started. I've got all the bits I need here from the house kitchen. So first off, we're just gonna start by boiling up our water, which will take a while. So what we'll do, once the water's boiled, we'll come back to you. Right, just about boiling now, the water. Took a while, so to save a bit of time you could maybe just boil the kettle. Took about 20 minutes, obviously not as powerful the gas as it would be in domestic hobs. So I'm going to use some macaroni, about 500 grams. Let's go straight in. There we go. And just let that boil for 12 minutes or so. And now I'll get on with making the cheese sauce. So we get some butter in a pan. Any butter really. Has to be butter though, not margarine if you can help it. It's makes a much nicer sauce. And then I like to put a tablespoon or teaspoon of English mustard in that, because apparently according to chefs it brings out the cheese flavour. So just let the butter and the mustard, well, let the butter melt and the mustard mix into the butter. Once that's done, you get some flour. Making just a basic white sauce here, nice and simple. Any flour, I mean they probably would say use self-raising or plain whatever, but I'll use whatever I got. So you just tip in the flour, like that. Whoops, there we go, gotta get the hoover. Put that back, and then you bring the flour and the butter together. You bring the flour and the butter together. In fact, I could do a bit more flour. Excuse me. And I think at this stage is when it's called a roux, and then when you add the milk, that's when it becomes a white sauce. You can put things like nutmeg in there and salt and pepper if you want, but I'll just leave it with the butter and the flour and the mustard. And then you let the roux just cook a little bit, so it kind of cooks out the flavour of the raw flour, and it sort of like goes a little brown, and that kind of gives it a bit of a nutty kind of flavour with it, and helps the cheese flavour as well. So once your roux starts to go a little bit brown, like it is now, you add your milk. You can use any milk you want, but the more fat in it the better. So I'm using full fat milk here to get this done, and we'll just add a little bit at a time to start with. because that eliminates any lumps and that you're going to get in your sauce. As you can see, it smooths out quite easy, really thick. And at this stage is when I just pour in, again with the eye, I don't measure. What we had there, just over a pint of milk's gone into that, and then you just mix it around, stir it in, and you wait for the flour to thicken up the sauce. And while that's thickening up, I'll turn it down a bit so it doesn't go too quick. While that's thickening up, I will, because I like to put bacon in it. So what I do, I get the tray that I'm going to be cooking in. Quite it is hot. Get the tray that I'll be cooking it in, and just roll up some bacon. Smoked or unsmoked, doesn't really matter. It's to whatever taste you want. And put about 6 rashers in. And then I will put it in the oven just to start the bacon off a little bit. The oven's been sort of preheating up. Again, it's to no particular temperature, but you want it to be at least 180 if you can. I think ours goes up to 200, so 180 is possible. Hands are clean. And yeah, again, this is you don't have to add bacon. I mean, if you're a vegetarian, you can just have the cheese sauce. I don't really know what you could do if you're vegan. Never really thought along them lines. But now we'll come here and we will put it into the oven and just let that bacon start off, because otherwise it can get a little bit rubbery, the fat, if the fat doesn't crisp. And what we'll do, once everything's come together, we'll come back to you and show you me putting it together. Now, when you get your sauce to this sort of consistency, quite thick there, that's when you add your cheese. So what I do, get my cheese. I'm very basic when it comes to cheeses. When in a cheese sauce, I don't go fancy. Just cheddar, the best cheese in the world. You know, it does everything. It melts, it grills, good in a sandwich, and then you just melt that cheese into the milk, into the white sauce, which is going to thicken it right up, as you can see. Just let that melt in. And then what I like to do is I like to put tomatoes into the sauce. Baby tomatoes whole. Just, again, this is my taste, you don't have to do this, but I like to do it. Just put a few tomatoes in, and they will sort of bleed a little bit and sort of like start to turn. That might look really thick, but don't worry about that. That will, and lumpy there, but that once the cheese is fully melted into the sauce, it'll be smooth, as you can see it's starting to now. So we're just waiting for the pasta, which, you know, takes about 12 minutes. We just check it, waiting for the pasta to soften. Nearly there, nearly there. Let me just get the oven glove so I can hold the thing. Move about. Nearly there. A couple more minutes. And once we've done that, I'll turn it off, and I won't drain it straight away because I don't really want to pour boiling hot water down the system, down the sink system, because it's only a motorhome system, isn't it? So we will just give that a couple of minutes just to cool off a bit. But the sauce, as you can see, is pretty much ready now. I like a nice thick sauce to go with the macaroni cheese, so I'll turn the sauce off, because the longer, if you keep heating it, it will thicken up more, and you don't really want it to get any thicker. So once we're putting it together, in fact, just before we do that, let's just see how the bacon's getting on in the oven. Yeah, starting, but again, let's turn the oven up a bit. I can get up to 240 actually. I put it on 220 for a bit just to get it going. And once they start to crisp up, I will then take the pasta, put it into a mixing bowl, put the sauce on top, and then put the sauce and the pasta over the bacon, and then back in the oven. So once we got to that stage, I will come back. Alright, I think it's now time to drain the pasta off. I've let it cool down a bit because, like I say, it's hot. Give it a stir about. Bottom bits there. So that's all the pasta out. And just kind of drain as much of that water off as we can. A little bit of water won't hurt it, purely because it's a thick sauce, so it'll just help thin the sauce out a little bit. So now we just put this over here, put the pasta in. Now we bring the sauce over. As you can see, smooth that. See, parts of them tomatoes have started to break down and get stuck in my whisk. How do they get stuck in your whisk? There we go. Get this out. And now we pour the sauce on top. Get as much of that sauce out as you can. There we go. And now just mix the pasta through it. Put the sauce through the pasta, either way you're looking at it. It smells alright. There we go. So there's your macaroni cheese done. And now what we'll do, let's just have a look at that bacon. As long as it's starting to, you know what I'm talking about here, that's going a bit. So we'll come a little closer. The bacon just started to go. Not fully cooked because obviously you don't want to burn it. And then you just pour the pasta over the bacon. Mixing it out as best you can. And open the oven. Oven gloves, and then back in the oven for about 20 minutes, or until the top starts to brown off and you get some crispy bits at the edge. And again, when we get to that stage, I will take it out for you and show you. Right, I think we're ready to take it out of the oven now. So let's, once the oven's turned off, there we go. All done. So that, from starting to boil the water to taking it from the oven, took just over an hour, which isn't bad. That's roughly the same times I do when I make it indoors. So yeah, I'll be doing more videos like this, I think. You know, just to show it's quite easy to do a bit of cooking in it. And so yeah, so on that one I'll leave this one to it. And if you do see the video, like I said in the beginning, please give us a like and a comment and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one.